The next part of the HyperDoc we're going to talk about is the apply section. So this is when students take the knowledge that they've acquired in the previous parts of the HyperDoc and create something to demonstrate understanding. So suggestions for content that you can use in this area would be pretty much any tool that allows for student creation. There's also a link here to some Show What You Know boards. So again, if you want to use these, just go to File, Make a Copy, and then you can modify them with content that you want your students to use. But I do like giving students choice, because having students turn in the exact same thing gets really boring and monotonous. And so I just like giving them choice. Let them use what they, a tool that they prefer to use. So on this particular HyperDoc that I'm working on, I actually wanted them to interact with a Google presentation that I created. And this is a collaborative partner activity. So the very first slide has directions for them. So I went ahead and put their names on each of these slides. So the first thing they have to do is go to that slide and find their name. So they're working with a partner. They're going to create a 2-digit times 2-digit word problem, and they're going to write it in this notes section. And they need to keep their equation under 30 by 30, because remember that in this virtual manipulative, they can't go above 30 by 30. And I want them to use this in order to help them solve their problem. So I had to put that direction in there. Where am I? Here we go. Okay. Then they're going to solve their problem 2 different ways. One using the partial product method, and then the other is going to be using creating an array using the number pieces app. Then they're going to take a screenshot for each of their solutions and paste it onto their slide. So depending on what device they're using, taking a screenshot can be done several different ways. If you're using a VDI computer or a ThinkPad, you hold the FN button and then press the home print screen at the same time. And what that does is it pastes that screenshot onto the clipboard, and then wherever you paste it, that's where your image will be. You can also use the snipping tool that's found in Windows 10. So you'll have these on ThinkPads and on the VDI computers. If you're using a Chromebook, then the keyboard shortcut would be Control Shift and then this little icon. And this pops up in the bottom right corner of your monitor, and you click on Copy to Clipboard, and then you just paste it on your slide. So it's really easy to do. So here's an example of a finished one. So let me move this up a little bit so you can read the story problem. So they get into partners and they write their story problem. So mine is: a grocery store owner ordered 13 boxes of donuts to sell in her bakery section. There are 24 donuts in each box. How many donuts will she receive in total? So here, remember that we are going back to, oh, lost it. We are going back to our TEAC, which is they have to solve 2-digit times 2-digit 3 different ways, using an equation, or writing an equation, which is right here, using the partial product method, and then creating an array. So here I've broken my equation down into the different parts. I went to the partial product maker and I took a screenshot of it and I pasted it here, and then I did the same with the number pieces arrays. So I'll just very quickly demonstrate how easy that is. So Dave and Sue can type their word problem down here. They're going to type their equations in this box, and then I put a link to number pieces in the partial product finder. So let's just pretend that I have already made my area model for this, and I'm on a Mac, so my keyboard shortcut is going to be a little bit different, but basically you just click and drag and take your screenshot. So I'm going to let go. And it didn't paste it to my clipboard because that's not what a Mac does. So I'm going to have to right click. And I'm sorry, no, I'm not. I'm going to go to Insert Image from Computer. And it put it on my desktop. So I just navigate to it, click on Open. And if the kids need to, they can double click and crop their images to make it a little bit bigger or smaller. And then they can also resize it to make it fit on the slide. So there's one screenshot, and then I would just go back and do my other one. And then what's nice is because all the kids are working in one Google Slide activity, they can go to each other's slides, and it's really like you're sharing your work, which is the next section of the HyperDoc, and the Apply section all in one. So I really don't need a share component because all they have to do is just flip through these slides and look at each other's work. So that makes it really handy. One thing that you need to remember to do, and this is if you're not using Google Classroom as your workflow, is when you create a presentation, you're going to have to change the share settings. So by default, it's private to you. So to change the share settings, depending on if you want them all to be in the same one, or if you just want them to view, you click on the blue share button. And I'm going to go to more down here in the bottom. And I usually do anyone with the link. So no one's going to be able to access this unless I give them the link. But here you can do anyone with the link, and you have an option of can view only or can edit. So because I want my students to be working in the same document, I have to change it to anyone with the link can edit. And then I'm going to click on Save. So now the share settings are set so that they can all go in and work together. Now, is it possible for them to delete each other's work? Absolutely it is. And is that going to happen? Probably. But that's when you have to have that digital citizenship discussion with them and say, you know what, accidents happen, I totally get that, but guess what? Slides are free. If somebody deletes your work, make a new slide and continue, no big deal. I do always tell the kids that I can find out if somebody who has deleted work from somebody else. If you just go into File, Version History, and then see Version History. And because I'm the only one that's worked in here, you only see my name. But if I had multiple students in here, so say for example, February 3rd at 7:05, I can look to see what it looked like, and it's going to tell me who made those modifications. And I show kids this before I have them work in the document because they need to know that you're always watching. And they can get caught if they choose to do something on purpose. Now again, accidents happen. No big deal. I've had teachers that have gone in and accidentally deleted people's stuff. No biggie. Slides are free. Just make a new one. Okay, so now that I've changed my settings, I'm ready to share this link in my HyperDoc. So I'm going to click on the URL and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to my HyperDoc, and I've already written out directions in my Apply section. All I have to do is link my Google presentation so that they can access it. So I'm going to click on link, paste it, apply, boom. There you go. All done.